Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs, and my project today is with the Sweet Jar bundle. It's the Sweet Jar stamp set and the Sweet Jar Builder Punch. I do like this. This is available at the beginning of May, and it's got a lot of different holidays and different things that you can do with it, so it's very useful. All right, the box measures 3.5 by 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. It opens like this. And I forgot to put the inside piece, but that's okay. All right, and inside I have some of these Red Bird candy puffs. Now these usually are the peppermint ones, but in Dollar General they had cotton candy ones, so I figured they would be good for a project. Alright, so I put some of them in there, but it's a pretty big box. You can fit a bunch in there. Alright, so what we need for this project is a piece of Pool Party that is 10 3/4 by 8 1/4, so it's just 1/4 inch off of each of the sides. Well, these two sides. All right, we need from the Wildflower Birthday DSP. This is on the back of this pattern. It is all different panels that you can use for scrapbooking and stuff. I took this one, and then I left the length at 3.5, and I cut, leaving the balloons on the left, it to 2 3/4. And that's what we're going to use for our top piece there. And then we need a piece of Pretty in Pink that is 2 7/8 by 3 5/8. Okay, and that's going to be a mat for that. I cut the top with the Jar Builder Punch out of one of these pieces that was along here. There was like a couple strips of gold, so I cut that out of that. And it's also the Wildflower Birthday DSP. Okay, we need 2 pieces of the same type of DSP that are 3 1/4 by 4. I did these 2 patterns, and I fixed the inside. We need 2 pieces that are 1 by 4, and 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 1. All right, so that's all of that. And let me get my Simply Scored. All right, we're going to start on the 10 3/4 inch side. Score at 1 1/4, 4 3/4, 6, and 9 1/2. Turn it to the 8 1/4 inch side and score at 3/4, 2, 6 1/4, and 7 1/2. And all of those measurements are on my blog. All right, fold and burnish all your score lines. All right, now this can go either way as long as you have it the long way. And this is what we're going to be doing. All right, so let's start over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle, and wedge the square. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Right, now we're going to take these 4 pieces off. Okay, now turn it around. And we're going to count to the second score line, cut it to the second score line, and now take these 4 pieces off. Okay. Now go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle and wedge the square. And then to the last score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, and then I'm going to take a corner rounder and round these corners at that end flat piece. And that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. Okay, now I'm going to get some liquid glue and we're going to start over here. And I'm going to put glue on all 4 tabs. And we're going to start over here, take the score line and match it with the side of this inner rectangle. And the same on the other side. Okay. And then this side, we're going to connect that score line to the other side of this same rectangle. Okay, and that's your box. All right, so now we need our DSP. And we have one of these longer ones that I rounded the bottom. We're going to put that here and the other longer one on the spine. These 2 on the short sides, this inside the flap, and this on the top. All right. We'll let that dry and we'll do our stamping. All right, so we need some basic white cardstock. And I'm going to be using Pretty in Pink, Bubble Bath, Lemon Lolly, and Old Olive inks. So first let's start with the jar, and I'm going to use Pretty in Pink ink. Great. And then I'm going to get 2 sets of candles in here. I might have to add one in. No, that's fine. 2 sets. And then with Lemon Lolly ink, I'm going to do the flames on them, which wouldn't be happening if the lid was on, but that's okay. Okay. Now I'm going to get my punch and punch out the bottom. Okay, and there's our bottom. And we have our top. I cut out of the strip of paper that had gold on it. Now we need this piece, and I'm going to be using the sentiment, sending a little, and then I'm going to insert party, and I'll say your way. So I'm going to use Old Olive ink. And I'm going to tuck it kind of right in there towards the balloons, sending a little, and then I'll stick party in there, your way. All right, and that's it on the stamping now. All right, make sure that's dry. And now we have to attach this. So I'm just going to try to put a tiny bit of glue right on the edge here. And just stick it right over that line. Okay, let that dry. And we're going to attach these 2 together. I'm going to take my scissors and look for another one of those flowers. And then I'll fussy cut that out. Okay. Now let's put the jar right in here. I'm going to use some dimensionals. And I'm going to put this right about there. There we go. And then I'm going to put a dimensional right here, over as far as I can get it. And some liquid glue. And set that right about there. Okay, now we need our box. And I'm using a 1/8 inch hole punch, but you can use whatever it is you want. And I'm going to do 2 sets of holes. Use a pencil. Matching them up. You could use Velcro dots, but I've been using them a lot lately, so I wanted to do something different. And then I'm going to get some pool party ribbon. I'm going to put it, start this way. Not pool party ribbon, I'm sorry. It's Pretty in Pink ribbon. Pool party ribbon is retired, sadly. Alright, then put whatever it is you want in here. And then we're going to feed these through the back. Get them relatively the same size and then tie a bow. Alright, so there we have our box closed, and then we need to put dimensionals on our top piece. And center this right on the top. Okay. I'm going to add a little wink of Stella glitter to the flower. And then for the final touch, we have some new Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And I'm going to be using the Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to put a large right up there. A small out there. And then another small right there. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. All my info is below. Please subscribe and hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And I will see you next time. Bye.